Hello and welcome to the Flipped Collaborate for EDU 40003 for Assignment 1. I thought I'd talk you through some of the elements of it together. So when we come together for the brainstorm session with our ELA team, we'll all be on board. So this is all very familiar to you by now. I've gone into assignments here and we're going to start with our Assignment 1 report. So here we go, we've got our report. It has a weighting of 60%. Please don't be too overwhelmed by the weighting here. Once you have a look through the assignment, you'll realize there's plenty of structure here. There's plenty of examples of topics, key themes, ideas that you'll include in your report, and it's covered very, very closely and thoroughly in our weekly readings as we approach this submission date. So you'll find that engaging in the discussion boards each week will be hugely beneficial. Our main text is extremely useful here, and I also recommend following the reference list within our own textbook to start some of your research. So we have a report. Our weighting is 60%. We have a nice generous word limit of 2,800 words, plus or minus 10%. That really gives you an excellent opportunity to demonstrate your understanding and your learning, and you really will have a lot to talk about as you see we go through each week. There's a lot of key themes and ideas about the early childhood sector and education in Australia. Okay, and our due date is, of course, Monday of week 7. So you get all the way through console week, which helps as well. So let's have a look at our assignment overview together. I'll scroll up here. So we're doing a report. So this tells us reports are useful forms of assessment in pre-service teacher education programs as they assess what you have learned from your readings, research, and class discussions. They also enable you to develop report writing skills and undertake the type of research task that is widely used in the education workplace. For this assignment, you will be required to write a report on the current state of the Australian early childhood profession, and it links to learning outcomes 1, 2, and 3. So let's have a look at the assignment together. What are we actually going to do? So you are required to write a report based on the following scenario. You are a director of a local government early childhood education setting, and the council has asked you to write a report to inform them about the current state of the Australian early childhood profession. Your aim is to inform the council of the benefits and challenges of funding, supporting and providing early childhood services in the municipality. They are considering funding and building new education settings in the area. So take your time and really understand the scenario here. So it's giving you the key areas that we need to cover, some benefits and challenges of funding, some of the themes that exist within the early childhood setting in Australia. Okay, so you're going to research and report on the state of the early childhood profession in Australia today. A typical report investigates, describes, and analyses information in a thorough and logical manner. This information is then presented in a clear report format. Some features that typify a report include numbered sections and/or with headings. Contents page, information presented includes images, tables, diagrams, short paragraphs, illustrations, and examples to guide your reader. In the body of your report, you must cover the following essential discussion points. Okay, so we've got 4 points here. Discuss the characteristics and complexities of the early childhood profession, including the current strengths and challenges in Australia today. Identify trends and movements influencing early childhood education. So there's no set number of trends or movements that you need to include. So this is something that you'll look into. You'll identify the key ones that you see as being most prominent or most important from your research and include those. You might even compare Australia with 1 or 2 other countries to help your discussion there. describe the key legal obligations and policies that impact the early childhood profession and their implications for teaching and service provision, and include a SWOT analysis, so a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats analysis that outlines why council should support and fund community-based early childhood education services and some of the risks they should be aware of. So we do have a lovely generous word count, but you can see there's lots of things that we need to have included. So I won't go through this. You can have a look through. If you're not familiar with a report, there's lots of links on the Student Hub, and I'll include those in our Padlet. So we need our executive summary, a table of contents, introduction and terms of reference, main body of the report. So that's the essential discussion points that we just read need to go in our main body of our report. We have our conclusion, reference list, and appendices. So that's where you're going to send your reader to certain graphs, images, tables. So, and that supports the points that you're making in your report, and they will go in your appendices. This is a little note here saying please use the relevant legislation and frameworks, etc., for where you are. So it might be for your state. You might choose federal or state there, and that's your prerogative. Please use what suits best. We have some links on academic writing, academic practice and referencing. And finally, we have our criteria. Let's have a tiny look here. So with our criteria, we have 5 criteria. So descriptions of the characteristics of the early childhood profession, analysis of the complexities of the early childhood profession, knowledge and understanding of trends and movements, implications of legal obligations and policies, and your academic and English expression through professional report writing. And that will be all your report writing features, your headings, executive summary, appendices, etc., etc. So have a look through what we require in the past descriptor, and then you can move through. If you'd like to work towards a higher grading, it increases in insight and strengths. So those are all there for you. And I've made a Padlet for you. So I'm going to pop over here. We'll have a little look together. So if you're not familiar with Padlets, they're quite easy to navigate. So we have columns, and I've just popped some subject headings there, and we start over here, and I've tried to put in there a lot of tips and tricks that might help you along the way, and some links. So let's have a little look here together. So as always, we start with our Flip to Collaborate, which you're now watching. So I'll pop the link in there. So this is just asking people to listen to the recorded Collaborate before they attend our session. How are we going to help you? So in our ELA team, we're going to have this Flip to Collaborate video, and we're going to have live brainstorming and Q&A Collaborate sessions. So that's going to run for an hour, and we'll pop those there. Over here, I'll pop the links to our live Collaborate session. If you can't attend a session, I know that many of you are ridiculously busy trying to fit everything in with life. So if you can't make the session, not a problem at all. This is where I will pop the recording. So when the live session has finished, it takes a few hours to calibrate, and then I will pop the recording link in there. Too easy, not a problem. And then for all these, you just click on them and it opens up the slide for you. So here, I'm a bit of a paper and pen person. So this is the sort of thing that might help me as I'm going through the weekly readings. And I've just popped the 4 criteria, the first 4 criteria here. And then as I'm reading, I can say, oh, that's quite interesting. That looks like something that I think is key. I might pop that in my report. Just put a few notes here, and then my citation. So when I come to start my report, I've got I know the criteria that I'm covering, the points that I found in my research, and over here my citation, and then I just pop the references at the bottom, so they're all waiting for you when you begin your report, because we know we need to acknowledge all the sources we use. Okay, who are we writing our report for? You're writing your report for someone in the local council. So your audience will be your ELA. Obviously, they'll be grading it, but you will be intending this for your local council. And you'll write in the third person. You'll use teal paragraphs. There's a nice little link there. Should you use headings? So yes, you're definitely going to use headings for the report, and this is what is required of us. So I've just popped those there for you. And I know that you're all going to be absolute whizzes at research. However, I've just popped some tips and tricks in there. If you're going to go into Google Scholar, set it up this way, and then you'll get all the full text PDF sources through the Swinburne Library. Please be sure to reference all of your points. Your report will be based on research, so you will be deciding the key points that you will include, but they will definitely be influenced by the body of knowledge and your research. So you'll start with our weekly readings and you'll move further. APA Style Central. This is an excellent link that will help you follow the APA guidelines. Over here, please do use your originality report. We need to make sure that you've paraphrased, you've understood what you've read, you've paraphrased and put it in your own words, so you haven't plagiarized anyone else's work. Which weeks do we need to read? So that's our main text there. How to format. You'll see I've just tried to put anything in there that might be helpful. So how do I save as a PDF? Or you can submit as a Word. Citing images. So you'll have images, tables, graphs, different things to support your report to demonstrate your understanding. So these are your guidelines on how to do that. And there's a little example there. A question on can you use your own private photos? Please have a look there, because we want to make sure we ensure the safety of everyone and all our students. How many references? That's in there. So, and then over here, help. I'm having trouble uploading. I'm stuck with referencing. I need a little bit of an extension. So have a look over here. These are all your links that are going to help you with your student coaches and your time. So our first assignment is our major assignment, but I think you might find that this will be your very best friend, because it takes you all the way to week 7. You've even got console week to work on it, and it's highly structured. So follow the formula, and I believe that this will be an assignment that you can do really well in. So if you've got any questions, please turn up to the live Collaborate session. Your lovely ELAs will be able to help you out with any questions you have, and all the best, everyone.